Money Mindset Mastery: How to Think, Save, Invest, and Build Wealth for Financial Freedom. Your complete guide to transforming your relationship with money and achieving lasting wealth. 2026 edition, Part 1: Understanding Money Psychology. The first step to financial freedom is not learning about stocks or real estate. It is understanding the invisible scripts running in your mind every time you earn, spend, save, or think about money. These scripts were written in childhood, shaped by culture, reinforced by experience, and often operate completely outside your awareness. Part 1 dives deep into the psychology of money, helping you identify limiting beliefs, overcome emotional spending patterns, heal from financial trauma, and consciously redesign your money mindset for success. Chapter 1: The Stories We Tell Ourselves About Money. Every single person carries a set of beliefs about money that were largely inherited rather than chosen. As children, we absorb messages from our parents, teachers, peers, and culture about what money means, who deserves it, and how it should be handled. These messages form the invisible blueprint that governs our financial behavior today. If your parents argued about money every month, you may unconsciously associate wealth with conflict. If your family struggled, you might believe that money is scarce and hard to come by. Understanding these stories is the critical first step toward rewriting them. Research from the University of Cambridge shows that children form their money attitudes by age 7. This means that by the time you were old enough to read your first piggy bank label, your core money beliefs were already cemented. The challenge is that these early beliefs often operate on autopilot throughout adulthood. You might find yourself sabotaging a raise, overspending when stressed, or avoiding your bank statement entirely, all because an old story is running the show. The good news is that neuroscience has proven that neural pathways can be rewired at any age through deliberate awareness and consistent practice. Consider the difference between someone who believes money is the root of all evil and someone who believes money is a tool for creating positive change. These two individuals will make dramatically different financial decisions, even when presented with identical opportunities. The first person may subconsciously reject wealth to stay aligned with their belief, while the second actively seeks opportunities to grow their resources. Neither person is right or wrong in some absolute sense, but one belief system clearly produces better financial outcomes than the other. The process of identifying your money stories begins with honest self-reflection. Start by completing sentences like, "Money is rich people," or "I will never be, I deserve," and "money causes." Write down whatever comes to mind without judgment. Then trace each belief back to its origin. Who said it? When did you first hear it? What experience reinforced it? This excavation work is uncomfortable but transformative. Once you can see the story clearly, you gain the power to decide whether it serves you or whether it is time to write a new chapter. Pushman example: Sarah's story. The invisible ceiling. Sarah was a talented marketing manager earning $85,000 per year, yet she never applied for promotions that paid over $100,000. When she finally explored her money beliefs, she discovered a deeply held conviction: people who make over six figures become arrogant and lose their friends. This belief originated from her mother's frequent comments about a wealthy relative who forgot where he came from. Once Sarah recognized this pattern, she consciously reframed her belief to, "I can be wealthy and kind. My success does not require anyone else's failure." Within 2 years, she secured a director-level position paying $135,000 and maintained the close relationships that mattered most to her. Key principle: awareness precedes change. You cannot change a money belief you cannot see. Dedicate 1 week to writing down every thought you have about money, the automatic reactions, the guilt, the excitement, the fear. This awareness journal becomes the raw material for your financial transformation. Chapter 2: Scarcity vs. Abundance Mindset. The scarcity mindset is a way of viewing the world through the lens of not enough. People operating from scarcity see limited opportunities, hoard resources out of fear, and make decisions driven by anxiety rather than strategy. Research by Harvard economist Enno Mullanthan demonstrates that scarcity literally taxes cognitive bandwidth, making it harder to think clearly, plan ahead, and make wise financial decisions. When you are stuck in scarcity, every financial choice feels urgent and threatening, which paradoxically leads to more poor decisions and deeper financial stress. Abundance mindset, by contrast, is not about pretending problems do not exist or being recklessly optimistic. It is about fundamentally believing that there are enough opportunities in the world for you to create the life you want. People with abundance mindsets tend to be more generous, more collaborative, and better at long-term planning. They view setbacks as temporary and solvable rather than permanent and catastrophic. Studies from Stanford University show that abundance minded individuals are 40% more likely to take calculated risks that lead to significant financial growth over time. The shift from scarcity to abundance does not happen overnight. It requires consistent practice and intentional exposure to new patterns of thinking. One powerful technique is the enough practice each evening. Write down 3 things that are enough in your life today: your health, your relationships, your skills, your current income while you work toward more. This practice trains your brain to recognize sufficiency rather than deficiency. Another technique is studying people who have built wealth from humble beginnings, proving that financial success is not reserved for those who started with advantages. It is important to note that abundance mindset does not mean ignoring real financial constraints. If you have $500 in your bank account and rent is due, that is a real problem that requires real action. However, how you approach that problem differs dramatically based on your mindset. A scarcity thinker panics, makes desperate choices, and spirals deeper into stress. An abundance thinker acknowledges the challenge, creates a plan, seeks resources and support, and takes strategic action. The external situation may be identical, but the internal experience and likely outcomes are vastly different. Pushman example: Marcus. From hoarding to investing, Marcus grew up in a household where money was scarce and every penny was saved just in case. As an adult, he kept $45,000 in a checking account, earning 0.01% interest, while his rent was only $1,200 per month. He was terrified of investing because he associated it with losing everything. A financial coach helped him realize that by not investing, he was actually losing money to inflation every single year. Marcus started by moving $10,000 into a diversified index fund. Watching it grow over 12 months gave him the confidence to eventually invest $25,000 more. Within 3 years, his investment portfolio had grown to $42,000, more than his original savings, while his emergency fund remained intact. Key principle: abundance is a practice, not a feeling. You will not wake up one day suddenly feeling abundant. Abundance mindset is built through daily practices, gratitude journaling, generous giving even small amounts, studying success stories, and deliberately choosing possibility over fear in every financial decision you face. Practical exercises can accelerate your shift from scarcity to abundance. Try the abundance audit. For 1 week, document every abundance you encounter in your daily life: clean water, food availability, technology access, educational resources, personal relationships, and natural beauty. Most people are astonished by how much abundance surrounds them once they begin looking. Another exercise is the generosity practice. Give something away each week, even if it is small: a compliment, a $5 coffee for a stranger, a donation to a cause you care about. Generosity rewires your brain to operate from a sense of sufficiency rather than scarcity. Each act of giving reinforces the belief that you have enough and that more is always coming. Over time, these small practices create a profound shift in your financial reality because they change how you think, which changes how you act, which changes the results you produce. Pushman example: from scarcity to abundance. Lisa's transformation. Lisa, a single mother earning $52,000 as a social worker, lived in constant financial anxiety. She checked her bank account obsessively, hoarded food in her pantry, and avoided social situations that involved spending money. After reading about abundance mindset, she began a daily gratitude practice focused specifically on financial abundance. Each morning she wrote 3 financial blessings: her steady paycheck, her ability to provide for her daughter, and the roof over their heads. She also started a small weekly giving practice: $5 to a local food bank. Within 6 months, Lisa's relationship with money transformed. She stopped checking her bank account compulsively, started planning instead of worrying, and eventually negotiated a raise at work that she would have been too afraid to request before. Her annual income increased by $8,000, and she saved $4,500 that year, more than she had saved in the previous 3 years combined. Chapter 3: The Emotional Anatomy of Spending. Most financial advice focuses on logic. Create a budget, cut expenses, invest the difference. But money decisions are rarely logical. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that up to 90% of purchasing decisions are driven by emotions rather than rational analysis. When you buy a coffee you do not need, when you splurge on clothes during a sale, or when you impulse buy something online at midnight, it is not because you lack financial knowledge. It is because an emotional trigger activated a spending response that overrode your logical brain. Understanding the 6 core emotional triggers behind spending can fundamentally change your relationship with purchases. The first is stress spending, using shopping as a coping mechanism to manage anxiety or overwhelm. The second is social spending, buying things to fit in, impress others, or maintain a certain image. The third is reward spending, treating yourself because you feel you deserve it after a hard day or week. The fourth is boredom spending, shopping to fill time or create stimulation. The fifth is fear spending, buying things you think you might need someday, often driven by scarcity anxiety. The sixth is celebration spending, overspending during happy times because you feel flush with cash. The most powerful tool against emotional spending is the 24-hour rule. When you feel the urge to make a non essential purchase, commit to waiting 24 hours before buying. This simple pause allows the emotional surge to subside and gives your rational brain time to evaluate whether the purchase aligns with your actual financial goals. Studies show that implementing a 24-hour waiting period reduces impulse purchases by up to 60%. For larger purchases, extend this to a 72-hour or even 1 week waiting period. You will be surprised how often the urge simply dissolves once the emotional trigger fades. Another powerful strategy is identifying your personal spending triggers and creating alternative responses. If stress drives you to shop, develop a list of free or low cost stress relief alternatives like walking, calling a friend, journaling, or meditation. If social pressure triggers spending, set clear boundaries about what you will and will not spend money on in social situations before those situations arise. If boredom is the trigger, find engaging activities that do not involve your wallet. The key is replacing the old pattern with the new one rather than simply trying to white knuckle your way through the temptation. Push an example. Priya's online shopping recovery. Priya, a 29-year-old software engineer, discovered she was spending an average of $1,800 per month on online purchases she did not remember ordering. After tracking her behavior for a week, she realized every purchase happened between 9 p.m. and midnight, usually after scrolling through social media influencers showcasing luxury lifestyles. Her trigger was comparison and the emotional low that followed. Priya deleted shopping apps from her phone, set a digital curfew at 8:30 p.m., and replaced her evening scrolling with a knitting hobby. Within 3 months, her monthly discretionary spending dropped to $400, and she redirected $1,400 monthly toward her student loan payoff, eliminating $16,800 in debt in just 1 year. Key principle: pause before you purchase. Every unnecessary purchase is an unconscious choice. Train yourself to pause and ask, am I buying this because I need it or because I am feeling something right now? This single question, practiced consistently, can save you thousands of dollars every year. Chapter 4: Healing Financial Trauma. Financial trauma is any money related experience that left a lasting negative emotional impact on your sense of safety, security, or self worth. This can include growing up in poverty, experiencing bankruptcy, being victimized by financial fraud, going through a costly divorce, losing a home to foreclosure, or even witnessing your parents fight viciously about money. Unlike a sprained ankle, financial trauma does not always heal on its own. It often manifests as financial avoidance, compulsive money behaviors, chronic anxiety around financial decisions, or an inability to trust yourself with money management. The body keeps the score of financial trauma just as it does with any other form of trauma. When you experience financial stress or crisis, your nervous system activated its fight, flight, or freeze response. If that experience was severe or repeated, your nervous system may have become stuck in a pattern of financial hypervigilance or financial avoidance. You might obsessively check your bank account every hour, or you might avoid looking at it for weeks. Both extremes are survival responses that once served a protective purpose but now limit your ability to make rational, strategic financial decisions. Healing financial trauma begins with acknowledging it. Many people minimize their financial pain by comparing themselves to others. Other people have it worse, so I should just get over it. But trauma is not a competition. Your experience is valid regardless of what others have endured. The next step is understanding that your current financial behaviors, whether overspending, underspending, hoarding, or avoiding, are not character flaws. They are adaptations that once helped you survive. Recognizing this distinction removes the shame that keeps so many people stuck in unhelpful patterns. Practical steps for healing financial trauma include working with a therapist who specializes in financial psychology, joining a support group for financial recovery, practicing self compassion during the healing process, and gradually re exposing yourself to financial tasks you have been avoiding. Start small. If you have not looked at your bank statement in months, commit to checking it once this week. If you cannot open bills, start by sorting them without opening them. Each small act of financial engagement rewires your nervous system to associate money tasks with safety rather than danger. Pushman example. David's foreclosure recovery. David and his wife lost their home to foreclosure in 2019 after David's business failed during an economic downturn. The experience left David with severe financial anxiety. He could not bring himself to open mail, check bank balances, or discuss money with his wife without breaking into a cold sweat. For 2 years, his wife handled all finances while David avoided the topic entirely. When they sought help from a financial therapist, David learned that his avoidance was a trauma response, not laziness or responsibility. Through 6 months of therapy, journaling exercises, and gradual financial re-engagement, David was able to take back an active role in their finances. Today, 3 years later, they have rebuilt their savings to $32,000 and are actively saving for a new home down payment. Key principle: healing is not linear. Financial trauma recovery has good days and bad days. You might check your bank account confidently for a week and then feel frozen with anxiety the next. This is normal. Progress in financial healing is measured in months and years, not days. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every small step forward. Chapter 5: Rewiring Your Money Blueprint. Your money blueprint is the mental operating system that determines your financial destiny. It is the combination of beliefs, habits, emotional patterns, and unconscious rules that govern every financial decision you make. Most people never consciously design their money blueprint. They simply inherit one from their family, culture, and early experiences. But just as you would not use outdated software on a modern computer, continuing to operate from an outdated money blueprint will produce outdated financial results. Rewiring your money blueprint begins with a comprehensive audit of your current financial patterns. Track your income, expenses, savings rate, debt levels, and net worth over a 90-day period. Then examine the emotional experience behind each financial transaction. How did you feel when you earned money? When you spent it? When you checked your balances? When you thought about retirement? These emotional data points reveal the hidden programming that drives your financial behavior. Without this awareness, any budgeting system or investment strategy you adopt will eventually be undermined by the old blueprint. The most effective way to install new money beliefs is through what psychologists call affirmative repetition combined with evidence collection. Choose 3 new money beliefs that align with the financial life you want to create. For example, I am capable of building significant wealth. I make wise financial decisions consistently, and money flows to me as I provide value to others. Write these beliefs down every morning. More importantly, actively look for evidence throughout your day that supports these new beliefs. When you make a good financial decision, acknowledge it. When you receive money for your work, celebrate it. This evidence collection trains your brain to accept the new beliefs as reality. Environment design is another powerful tool for blueprint rewiring. Your physical and social environment constantly reinforces your money beliefs. If you surround yourself with people who complain about money, who live paycheck to paycheck, and who view wealth as evil, your money blueprint will absorb those messages regardless of your conscious efforts. Begin curating an environment that supports your new financial identity. Read books about wealth building, listen to financial education podcasts, join communities of financially ambitious people, and follow social media accounts that model the financial life you want to create. Journaling is one of the most powerful tools for money blueprint transformation. Each morning or evening, write about your financial beliefs, fears, goals, and progress. The act of writing forces you to externalize thoughts that may be operating unconsciously, making them visible and available for examination. When you write, I believe I will never be wealthy on paper, you can examine that belief objectively and challenge its validity. Journaling also creates a record of your financial journey that allows you to track your growth over time. Many people who maintain financial journals for a year or more are astonished by how dramatically their money beliefs and behaviors have changed, changes they might not have noticed without the written record of their starting point. Pushpin example: Aisha's blueprint transformation. Aisha grew up hearing her grandmother say, "We are not the kind of people who have money." Despite earning $110,000 as a nurse practitioner, Aisha had only $3,200 in savings and carried $28,000 in credit card debt. Her money blueprint dictated that people like her did not accumulate wealth. She earned and spent in equal measure, almost ritually maintaining her financial status quo. After working with a money mindset coach, Aisha identified her inherited belief and consciously replaced it with, I am building generational wealth for my family. She created a vision board, changed her phone wallpaper to her financial goals, and joined an online community of professionals focused on wealth building. Over 18 months, she eliminated her credit card debt, grew her savings to 18,000, and started contributing to a retirement account for the first time in her career. Key principle: design your environment. Design your finances. Your environment is more powerful than your willpower. Instead of relying on discipline alone, redesign your surroundings to make good financial behavior automatic and bad financial behavior inconvenient. Automate savings, remove shopping apps from your phone, and surround yourself with people who model the financial life you want. Part 2: Building the Foundation with Your Money Psychology Addressed. It is time to build the practical infrastructure of financial success. Part 2 provides the step-by-step systems for managing money on a daily basis, creating budgets that actually work, building emergency funds, eliminating debt strategically, developing powerful saving habits, and understanding credit. These foundational skills are not glamorous, but they are non-negotiable. Without them, advanced wealth building strategies crumble under the weight of financial chaos. Chapter 6: The Art and Science of Budgeting. Budgeting is the single most important financial skill you can develop, yet it remains one of the most resisted. The word itself conjures images of deprivation, restriction, and boring spreadsheets. But a properly designed budget is not a financial prison, it is a financial freedom tool. When you know exactly where every dollar goes, you gain the power to direct your money toward what matters most to you. Research from the National Foundation for Credit Counseling shows that people who maintain a written budget are 75% more likely to feel in control of their finances and 45% more likely to report financial confidence. The 50/30/20 budgeting framework is one of the most effective systems for beginners and intermediate budgeters. Allocate 50% of your after-tax income to needs: housing, utilities, groceries, insurance, minimum debt payments; 30% to wants: dining out, entertainment, hobbies, subscriptions, and 20% to savings and extra debt payments. This framework is flexible enough to accommodate different lifestyles while ensuring that the three pillars of financial health, living expenses, enjoyment, and wealth building are all addressed. If 20% feels impossible, start with 5% and gradually increase as you find areas to optimize. The zero-based budgeting method takes things further by requiring every single dollar to have a specific assignment before the month begins. Instead of tracking where money went after the fact, you decide in advance where it will go. This proactive approach eliminates the mystery of where your paycheck disappeared and forces intentional decision-making. For each dollar of income, you assign it to a category: rent, groceries, savings, debt payment, entertainment, or any other category that matches your life. When every dollar has a job, overspending becomes almost impossible because you simply do not have unplanned money available to spend. Technology has made budgeting easier than ever. Apps like Hana, Mint, and Pocket Guard automatically categorize your transactions, show spending trends, and alert you when you are approaching category limits. The key is choosing a system and sticking with it for at least 3 months. Most people give up on budgeting after 2 weeks because they expect perfection from day one. The reality is that your first month's budget will be inaccurate, and that is perfectly fine. Each month you will refine your categories, adjust your targets, and develop a more accurate picture of your actual spending patterns. Pushpin example: Jordan's budgeting breakthrough. Jordan, a 34-year-old graphic designer earning $72,000 per year, had never successfully maintained a budget for more than 2 weeks. He tried spreadsheets, apps, envelopes with cash. Nothing stuck. His breakthrough came when he stopped trying to restrict himself and started tracking first. For 1 full month, Jordan simply categorized every purchase without changing his behavior. The results shocked him. He was spending $680 per month on food delivery, $240 on subscriptions he never used, and $310 on impulse Amazon purchases. Armed with this data, Jordan created a zero-based budget that allocated $300 for food delivery, still generous, canceled unused subscriptions saving $2,400 per year, and limited Amazon purchases to pre-planned items only. Within 6 months, he freed up $720 per month that he redirected toward an emergency fund and retirement contributions. Key principle: track before you restrict. Before you try to change your spending, spend 1 full month simply tracking where your money actually goes. Data precedes change. You cannot fix what you cannot see, and most people are genuinely surprised by their own spending patterns once they examine them with honest eyes. Chapter 7: Your Emergency Fund. Financial armor. An emergency fund is the foundation of financial stability and the first line of defense against life's inevitable surprises. Without one, every unexpected expense, a car repair, a medical bill, a job loss, becomes a financial crisis that forces you into debt, derails your savings goals, and keeps you trapped in a cycle of financial fragility. A 2024 survey by Bankrate found that 56% of Americans cannot cover an unexpected $1,000 expense without borrowing. This statistic represents millions of people one emergency away from financial disaster. The standard recommendation is to save 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses in a liquid, easily accessible account. Calculate your essential monthly expenses: housing, utilities, groceries, insurance, transportation, and minimum debt payments, and multiply by 3 for your minimum target and by 6 for your ideal target. If your essential monthly expenses are $3,000, your minimum emergency fund should be $9,000 and your ideal fund should be $18,000. This may seem like a daunting number, but remember that building an emergency fund is a marathon, not a sprint. Even saving $200 per month will build a $9,000 fund in under 4 years. Where you keep your emergency fund matters as much as how much you save. The money must be liquid, easily accessible, safe, not subject to market fluctuations, and slightly inconvenient to access so you do not dip into it for non-emergencies. A high-yield savings account at an online bank is the ideal location. As of 2025, several online banks offer annual percentage yields between 4% and 5%, meaning your emergency fund earns meaningful interest while it sits waiting for genuine emergencies. Keep your emergency fund separate from your regular checking account to reduce the temptation to use it for everyday spending. Defining what constitutes a true emergency is critical to protecting your fund. A genuine emergency is an unexpected, necessary expense that you cannot delay: a car repair you need to get to work, a medical expense not covered by insurance, or income lost due to job termination. A concert ticket sale, a new phone release, or a vacation deal are not emergencies, they are desires. Create a written definition of emergencies and review it whenever you feel tempted to tap your fund. This clarity prevents the slow erosion of your financial safety net that happens when people rationalize non-emergency withdrawals. Building an emergency fund on a low income requires creativity and persistence, but it is absolutely achievable. Start by calculating your absolute bare minimum monthly expenses, the absolute minimum you need to survive, not your current lifestyle. This number is often surprisingly low when you strip away non-essentials. Your initial emergency fund goal should be this bare minimum number times 3. If your bare minimum monthly expenses are $1,500, your first emergency fund goal is $4,500. Attack this goal aggressively by temporarily reducing discretionary spending, selling unused items, picking up temporary extra work, or directing any windfalls like tax refunds or bonuses entirely to your emergency fund. Once you reach this initial goal, celebrate the milestone and then begin building toward your full 3 to 6 month target. Push an example: the Martinez family emergency fund success when the Martinez family, Carlos, Lena, and their 2 children, experienced Carlos's layoff in early 2025. Their emergency fund proved its worth. Carlos, a project manager in the construction industry, had been laid off when his company lost a major contract. Because they had built a $22,000 emergency fund covering 5 months of essential expenses, they were able to pay all bills on time, continue their children's extracurricular activities, and avoid any credit card debt during Carlos's 3-month job search. Carlos later found a position with better pay and benefits, and the family rebuilt their emergency fund within 8 months. Carlos reflected, "Without that fund, we would have been forced to rack up credit card debt or pull our kids from activities. The peace of mind was worth every dollar we saved." Key principle: your emergency fund is non-negotiable. No investment opportunity, debt payoff strategy, or savings goals should come before building your emergency fund. It is the foundation upon which all other financial progress is built. Start today, even if it is only $25 per week. Consistency matters more than the amount. Chapter 8: Debt Destruction Strategies. Debt is the single greatest obstacle to building wealth for most Americans. The average American household carries $104,000 in debt across mortgages, student loans, credit cards, and auto loans. While some debt can be strategic, a mortgage on a reasonable property, for example, High interest consumer debt is a wealth destroyer that compounds against you. Understanding the mechanics of debt and having a clear elimination strategy is essential for anyone serious about financial freedom. The psychological impact of debt extends far beyond the financial numbers. Debt creates chronic stress that affects sleep quality, relationships, mental health, and overall life satisfaction. A study published in the Journal of Financial Therapy found that individuals with high levels of consumer debt reported significantly higher rates of anxiety and depression than those without consumer debt, even when controlling for income levels. Debt also limits your options and freedom, making career changes, starting businesses, or taking sabbaticals far more difficult when you are burdened by monthly payment obligations. Eliminating debt is not just a financial strategy, it is a quality of life strategy that restores your sense of control, autonomy, and possibility. The debt avalanche method is the mathematically optimal approach to eliminating debt. List all debts from highest interest rate to lowest interest rate. Make minimum payments on every debt, then direct every available extra dollar toward the debt with the highest interest rate. Once that debt is eliminated, redirect its payment to the next highest interest rate debt. This approach saves the most money and interest over time. For example, if you have a $5,000 credit card at 22% APR and a $15,000 student loan at 5% APR, attacking the credit card first saves you hundreds or thousands of dollars in interest compared to spreading payments evenly. The debt snowball method, popularized by financial expert Dave Ramsey, prioritizes psychological momentum over mathematical optimization. List all debts from smallest balance to largest balance, regardless of interest rate. Make minimum payments on everything, then throw all extra money at the smallest debt. When it is eliminated, roll its payment into the next smallest debt. The quick wins from eliminating small debts early create dopamine-driven motivation that keeps you going when the process gets challenging. Research from Harvard Business School confirms that people using the snowball method are more likely to eliminate all their debt than those using the avalanche method, despite paying slightly more in total interest. Regardless of which method you choose, there are several universal debt destruction principles. First, stop adding new debt immediately. No debt elimination strategy works if you keep filling the bucket while trying to empty it. Second, find extra money to accelerate your payoff by selling items you no longer need, taking on temporary side work, negotiating bills, or redirecting windfalls like tax refunds and bonuses. Third, set a specific debt-free date and track your progress visually. A debt payoff thermometer or spreadsheet provides powerful motivation as you watch your balances shrink month after month. Push an example, Keisha's debt-free journey. Keisha, a 27-year-old teacher, accumulated $34,000 in debt across 4 credit cards and a personal loan by age 25. Her minimum payments totaled $890 per month, leaving little room for savings or investing. After learning about the debt snowball method, Keisha listed her debts from smallest to largest: a $1,200 store card, a $4,500 credit card, a $8,000 personal loan, a $10,300 credit card, and a $10,000 student loan. She found an additional $500 per month by refinancing her car payment, selling unused gym equipment, and tutoring 3 students twice weekly. Keisha eliminated her first debt in 2 months, her second in 7 months, and continued building momentum. In 30 months, she was completely debt-free except for her student loan, which she was aggressively targeting. The emotional freedom she experienced was life-changing. Key principle: choose a strategy and commit fully. The best debt elimination strategy is the one you will actually follow through on. Whether you choose the avalanche, snowball, or hybrid approach, commit to your plan for at least 6 months before evaluating whether to adjust. Consistency beats perfection every time. Chapter 9: The Power of Strategic Saving. Saving money is not about deprivation. It is about buying your future freedom. Every dollar you save today is a vote for the life you want tomorrow. Yet the personal savings rate in the United States has hovered around 3.5% to 4.5% in recent years, far below the 10% to 15% financial experts recommend for long-term financial health. The gap between what people know they should save and what they actually save is not primarily a knowledge problem, it is a systems and psychology problem. The most effective savings strategy is pay yourself first, automatically transferring a predetermined amount from your paycheck to a savings account before you have a chance to spend it. This strategy works because it removes willpower from the equation. When saving is automated, you never see the money in your checking account, so you never feel like you are missing it. Start with a percentage that feels sustainable, even 3% of your take-home pay, and increase by 1% every 3 months. Most people can reach a 15% to 20% savings rate within 2 years using this gradual approach without feeling any significant lifestyle change. Savings goals should be specific, measurable, and time-bound rather than vague. Instead of saying, I want to save more money, set a goal like I will save $8,000 for a vacation to Japan by December 2027, or I will save $25,000 for a house down payment by June 2028. Research from Dominican University found that people who write down specific goals are 42% more likely to achieve them than those who only think about their goals. Open separate savings accounts for each major goal and name them accordingly. Seeing Japan Fund grow in your banking app provides far more motivation than watching an anonymous lump sum increase. The concept of invisible saving, reducing expenses you do not actively think about, offers the highest return on effort. Audit your recurring subscriptions, negotiate your insurance rates annually, switch to a cheaper cell phone provider, refinance high interest debt, and reduce energy consumption at home. These optimizations often save $200 to $500 per month without requiring any significant lifestyle change. The money saved through these invisible optimizations can be redirected toward wealth building activities that compound over decades, turning small monthly savings into substantial long term wealth. Pushpin example: Y and May savings strategy. Y and May, a dual income couple in their early 30s, earned a combined $145,000 annually but had only $4,000 in savings. They felt like their money disappeared each month despite earning a comfortable income. After a detailed spending audit, they identified $620 per month in invisible savings opportunities, switching from a premium to a mid-tier cell phone plan $85 saved, canceling 3 streaming services they rarely used $45 saved, reducing dining out from 4 times to twice weekly $180 saved, negotiating their auto insurance for $40 less per month, and refinancing their remaining student loans at a lower rate, saving $60 monthly. They automated the full $620 into a high-yield savings account earning 4.5% APY. Within 18 months, they had built a $13,500 emergency fund and were contributing to retirement accounts for the first time. The psychological benefits of saving extend far beyond the financial numbers. Having a savings cushion fundamentally changes your relationship with risk, uncertainty, and opportunity. When you have money set aside, you can take calculated risks at work, pursuing a promotion, negotiating a raise, or even changing careers without the paralyzing fear of financial ruin. You can walk away from bad deals, toxic jobs, and unfavorable situations because you are not financially trapped. This freedom of choice is perhaps the most valuable benefit of saving, yet it is rarely discussed. The peace of mind that comes from knowing you can handle unexpected expenses, survive a period of unemployment, or seize a time-sensitive opportunity is worth far more than the temporary pleasure of spending that money on consumption. Key principle: automate everything you can. The single most powerful thing you can do for your savings is to automate it. Set up automatic transfers the day your paycheck hits your account. What you do not see, you will not spend. This one action eliminates more savings failures than any other strategy combined. Chapter 10: Credit Scores and Financial Reputation. Your credit score is one of the most powerful numbers in your financial life. Yet most people do not fully understand how it works or why it matters. This 3-digit number, typically ranging from 300 to 850, determines the interest rates you pay on mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards. It influences your ability to rent an apartment, sometimes affects insurance premiums, and can even impact certain job applications. A difference of 100 points between a 650 and a 750 credit score can mean tens of thousands of dollars in extra interest charges over the life of a mortgage. The 5 factors that determine your credit score are payment history 35%, amounts owed 30%, length of credit history 15%, new credit inquiries 10%, and credit mix 10%. Payment history is by far the most important factor, which means paying every bill on time, every time, is the single most impactful thing you can do for your credit score. Even one payment that is 30 days late can drop your score by 60 to 110 points. Set up automatic minimum payments on every account as a safety net, then make additional payments on your own schedule to ensure you never miss a due date. The amounts owed factor, also called credit utilization, measures how much of your available credit you are using. If you have a credit card with a $10,000 limit and a $3,000 balance, your utilization on that card is 30%. Financial experts recommend keeping utilization below 30% and ideally below 10% for optimal credit scores. If your utilization is above 30%, paying down balances is the fastest way to improve your score. Another strategy is requesting credit limit increases on existing cards. This immediately lowers your utilization ratio without requiring you to pay down debt. Building excellent credit takes time, but the strategy is straightforward. Open one or two credit cards and use them for small, recurring purchases you would make anyway, like gas or groceries, then pay the balance in full every month. Never close old credit cards, even if you do not use them often, because the length of your credit history positively impacts your score. Monitor your credit reports from all three bureaus Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion annually through annualcreditreport.com to catch errors or signs of identity theft. Dispute any inaccuracies immediately, as errors on credit reports are surprisingly common and can significantly impact your score. Push an example. Tom's credit score comeback. Tom, a 31-year-old paramedic, discovered his credit score was 580 after being denied an apartment lease. He was shocked to learn that an old medical collection account from a billing dispute he thought was resolved had been dragging his score down for 3 years. Tom pulled his credit reports from all three bureaus and found the error on TransUnion's report. He filed a dispute with documentation showing the bill had been paid, and the collection was removed within 30 days. With the collection removed, Tom's score jumped to 640. He then opened a secured credit card, used it for gas purchases only, and paid it in full monthly. Over the next 18 months, his score climbed to 725. The improvement saved him $14,000 in interest when he later qualified for a mortgage at a favorable rate. Key principle: monitor your credit like a hawk. Check your credit reports at least once per year. Set a calendar reminder to pull your free reports from annualcreditreport.com. Errors are more common than you think, and catching them early prevents damage that can take months or years to repair. Your credit score is your financial reputation. Treat it with the seriousness it deserves. Part 3: Growing your wealth with your financial foundation solid. Budgeting, emergency fund, debt elimination, and saving habits in place. It is time to put your money to work. Part 3 introduces you to the world of investing, the stock market, real estate, retirement accounts, and the extraordinary power of compound interest. These chapters will demystify investing, remove the intimidation factor, and give you concrete, actionable steps to start growing your wealth regardless of your current income or experience level. Chapter 11: Investing Fundamentals for Everyone. Investing is the process of putting your money to work so it earns more money while you sleep. It is the bridge between earning an income and building actual wealth. Without investing, your money loses purchasing power to inflation every single year. With investing, your money compounds and grows exponentially over time. The difference between a person who invests $500 per month starting at age 25 and a person who starts at age 35 is not just 10 years of contributions, it is over $500,000 in additional wealth by age 65, thanks to compound growth. The fundamental principle of investing is the risk-return trade-off. Higher potential returns generally come with higher risk. Savings accounts offer virtually no risk but earn minimal interest. Bonds offer moderate returns with moderate risk. Stocks offer higher potential returns but can fluctuate significantly in value over short periods. Understanding the spectrum allows you to make informed decisions about where to allocate your money based on your time horizon, risk tolerance, and financial goals. A 25-year-old investing for retirement can afford to take more risk than a 55-year-old nearing retirement. Diversification is the practice of spreading your investments across different asset classes, industries, and geographic regions to reduce risk. The principle is simple: do not put all your eggs in one basket. A well-diversified portfolio might include U.S. stocks, international stocks, bonds, and real estate investment trusts. When one asset class declines, others may hold steady or increase, smoothing out your overall returns. Research consistently shows that diversified portfolios deliver more reliable long-term returns than concentrated bets on individual stocks or sectors. Starting to invest does not require a large amount of money. Many brokerages now offer commission-free trading and allow you to buy fractional shares starting with as little as $1. Robo-advisors like Betterment and Wealthfront will build and manage a diversified portfolio for you based on a simple questionnaire about your goals and risk tolerance. The key is to start now, even if the amounts are small. Time in the market is far more important than timing the market. Waiting for the perfect moment to start investing is a form of procrastination that costs you thousands and missed compound growth. Pushpin example. Rachel's first investment at 22. Rachel, a recent college graduate earning $48,000 as a junior analyst, felt investing was something wealthy people did. She had $200 in student loan debt payments and $180 in monthly car expenses, leaving little room for savings. A coworker introduced her to the concept of fractional shares, and Rachel opened a robo-advisor account with a $50 initial deposit and $25 automatic weekly contributions. She chose a moderate risk portfolio of 70% stocks and 30% bonds. Over 3 years, Rachel's consistent $25 weekly investments grew to $4,800, including $420 in investment gains. More importantly, she had built the habit of investing. By age 27, she was contributing $300 per month to a diversified portfolio that had grown to over $18,000. Rachel reflected, starting small was the best decision I ever made. It taught me that investing is for everyone, not just people with six-figure salaries. Key principle: start now, start small, stay consistent. The best time to start investing was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Do not let the size of your investment prevent you from beginning. Even $25 per week, invested consistently in a diversified portfolio, can grow into hundreds of thousands of dollars over a working lifetime. The habit matters more than the amount. Chapter 12. Navigating the stock market. The stock market is one of the greatest wealth-building tools in human history, yet it intimidates many people. Understanding the basics of how the stock market works removes that intimidation and opens the door to one of the most accessible paths to long-term wealth. When you buy a share of stock, you are purchasing a small ownership stake in a real company. That company uses your investment to grow its business, and as the company becomes more valuable, the price of your share increases. Some companies also pay dividends, regular cash payments to shareholders, providing income on top of growth. For the vast majority of investors, individual stock picking is not the recommended approach. Research from Standard & Poor's shows that over a 15-year period, approximately 90% of actively managed mutual funds fail to outperform the S&P 500 index. This means that a simple, low-cost index fund that tracks the overall market will likely outperform most professional stock pickers over time. Index funds and exchange-traded funds ETFs provide instant diversification across hundreds or thousands of stocks in a single investment, eliminating the risk that comes with concentrating your money in a few individual companies. Understanding market cycles is essential for long-term investing success. The stock market does not go up in a straight line. It experiences periods of growth bull markets, declines bear markets, and recovery. Since 1950, the S&P 500 has experienced an average drawdown of about 14% per year, yet it has delivered average annual returns of approximately 10% over the long term. Investors who panic and sell during downturns lock in losses and miss the recovery. Investors who maintain their contributions through all market conditions benefit from dollar cost averaging, buying more shares when prices are low and fewer when prices are high, which naturally lowers your average cost per share over time. A practical approach for stock market investing begins with choosing the right account type: taxable brokerage or tax-advantaged retirement account, selecting low-cost index funds or ETFs that match your risk tolerance and time horizon, setting up automatic contributions, and committing to a long-term hold strategy. Avoid checking your portfolio daily. This behavior leads to emotional decision-making that destroys wealth. Instead, review your investments quarterly or annually, rebalance if necessary, and stay the course. The stock market rewards patience and punishes impulse. Pushpin example. James is panic selling mistake. James, a 38-year-old accountant, invested $40,000 in an S&P 500 index fund in January 2023. When the market experienced a 12% correction in March, James panicked and sold his entire position, realizing a $4,800 loss. He told himself he would get back in when things stabilized. The market recovered fully by June, and by December it had risen an additional 18% from James's original entry point. Had James held his position, his $40,000 investment would have grown to $47,200 by year end, a $7,200 gain instead of a $4,800 loss. Instead, James locked in his loss and sat on the sidelines while the market rallied. He eventually reinvested at a higher price point, effectively paying a $12,000 penalty for his emotional decision. James now has a strict rule. He never makes investment decisions during market downturns without consulting his financial advisor first. Key principle: time in the market beats timing the market. No one can consistently predict market movements. The investors who build the most wealth are those who invest regularly, regardless of market conditions, and hold their investments for the long term. Set up automatic contributions to your investment accounts and resist the urge to make changes based on headlines or emotions. Chapter 13: Real Estate. As a wealth builder, real estate has been one of the most reliable wealth building vehicles throughout human history, and it remains a powerful tool for creating financial freedom today. Unlike stocks, which you can purchase for small amounts, real estate requires a larger upfront investment but offers unique advantages. Leverage: using borrowed money to control a larger asset. Rental income: steady cash flow. Tax benefits: depreciation and deductions. And tangible asset ownership. According to the Federal Reserve, real estate accounts for approximately 25% of the average American household's net worth, making it the single largest asset class for most families. The most common entry point into real estate is homeownership. Buying a primary residence provides a forced savings mechanism. Each mortgage payment builds equity. Potential appreciation: historically 3% to 4% annually on average. Tax deductions on mortgage interest and property taxes, and stability of fixed housing costs. However, homeownership is not automatically a good financial decision. Buying more house than you can afford, purchasing in a declining market, or selling within the first few years can result in significant financial losses. The 28/36 rule provides a useful guideline. Your monthly housing payment should not exceed 28% of your gross monthly income, and your total debt payments should not exceed 36%. Rental real estate investing offers the potential for both passive income and long-term appreciation. A well-chosen rental property can generate positive monthly cash flow after all expenses are paid, meaning the tenant effectively pays off your mortgage while you build equity and benefit from property appreciation. The key metrics for evaluating rental properties include the cap rate, net operating income divided by property value, cash on cash return, annual cash flow divided by total cash invested, and the 1% rule: monthly rent should be at least 1% of the purchase price. Success in rental real estate requires thorough market research, careful property selection, and effective property management. For those not ready to become landlords, real estate investment trust rates offer a way to invest in real estate through the stock market. REIT are companies that own and operate income-producing real estate, apartment buildings, office towers, shopping centers, warehouses, and more. You can buy shares of publicly traded REIT through any brokerage account, gaining exposure to real estate returns without the responsibilities of property ownership. REIT are required by law to distribute at least 90% of their taxable income to shareholders as dividends, making them attractive income investments. Pushpin example: the Patel family rental portfolio. Anita and Raj Patel purchased their first rental property in 2020, a three-bedroom townhome in a growing suburban area, for $220,000. They put 20% down, $44,000, and secured a 30-year mortgage at 3.5% interest. Their total monthly expenses, including mortgage, insurance, taxes, and reserves for maintenance, totaled $1,450, while market rent for the property was $1,850. The $400 monthly cash flow, combined with annual property appreciation of approximately 3.5% and mortgage paydown, gave them a total annual return of approximately 18% on their initial investment. Encouraged by these results, they purchased 2 additional rental properties over the next 3 years. By 2026, their 3 rental properties generated $1,200 in monthly passive income, had appreciated by a combined $95,000, and their tenants had paid down $28,000 in mortgage principal, all while they continued working their regular jobs. House hacking is a powerful real estate strategy where you purchase a multi-unit property, live in one unit, and rent out the others. The rental income from the other units can significantly offset or even completely cover your housing expenses, allowing you to live for free while building equity and gaining landlord experience. For example, purchasing a duplex for $300,000 with a 3.5% FHA loan requires only $10,500 down. If the property has 2 units renting for $1,400 each, and you live in one unit, the $1,400 in rental income from the other unit covers most or all of your monthly mortgage payment. This strategy is particularly powerful for first-time home buyers who want to enter real estate investing with minimal capital while dramatically reducing their housing costs. Key principle: Real estate rewards the educated investor before investing in real estate. Dedicate at least 3 months to education. Read books, attend local real estate meetups, analyze dozens of deals, and consider finding a mentor who has achieved the results you want. Real estate can be extraordinarily lucrative, but it can also be devastating for unprepared investors. Chapter 14: Retirement Accounts and Tax Advantage Growth. Tax Advantage retirement accounts are the most powerful wealth building tools available to ordinary Americans, yet millions of people fail to utilize them fully or at all. These accounts offer significant tax benefits that allow your investments to grow faster than they would in a standard brokerage account. The difference between investing through a tax-advantaged account and a regular taxable account can amount to hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 30 to 40-year career. Understanding and maximizing these accounts should be a top financial priority for everyone. The 401k or 403b employer-sponsored retirement plan is often the best place to start investing for retirement. Many employers offer a matching contribution. For example, matching 50% of your contributions up to 6% of your salary. This match is literally free money and represents an immediate 50% return on your investment before any market growth. Not contributing enough to capture the full employer match is one of the most common and costly financial mistakes. In 2025, the annual contribution limit for 401k plans is $23,500 for employees under 50 and $31,000 for those 50 and older. The individual retirement account IRA provides additional retirement saving options. A traditional IRA offers tax-deductible contributions in most cases and tax-deferred growth, meaning you pay taxes when you withdraw the money in retirement. A Roth IRA offers the opposite. Contributions are made with after-tax dollars, but growth and withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. For most people, especially younger workers in lower tax brackets, the Roth IRA offers superior long-term value because your investments grow tax-free for decades. The 2025 contribution limit for both types of IRA is $7,000 for those under 50 and $8,000 for those 50 and older. The order of retirement investing priority is straightforward. First, contribute to your employer plan up to the full match. This is non-negotiable. Second, max out a Roth IRA if you are eligible based on income limits. Third, go back and max out your employer plan. Fourth, if you have additional money to invest, use a taxable brokerage account. This sequence ensures you capture every available tax advantage before paying unnecessary taxes on investment growth. Automating contributions to all accounts ensures consistency and eliminates the temptation to skip months. Pushpin example: Diana's retirement account strategy. Diana, a 28-year-old physical therapist earning $75,000, and no retirement savings and no retirement plan at her company. After learning about IRAs, she opened a Roth IRA and began contributing $583 per month to hit the $7,000 annual maximum. She chose a target date retirement fund that automatically adjusted its stock-to-bond ratio as she aged. When Diana switched jobs at age 32 to a company offering a 401k with a 4% match, she contributed enough to capture the full match $3,000 per year and continued maxing out her Roth IRA. By age 35, Diana's combined retirement accounts had grown to $87,000, despite contributing a total of $61,000 in actual dollars. The remaining $26,000 was investment growth, all growing tax-free in her Roth IRA. Diana was well on her way to becoming a millionaire by retirement, all starting with the simple decision to open a Roth IRA at 28. Key principle: never leave free money on the table if your employer offers a retirement plan match. Contributing enough to capture the full match is the highest return investment available to you, a guaranteed 50% to 100% immediate return. Not contributing enough to get the full match is equivalent to declining a raise at your job. Always capture the match first, then optimize from there. Chapter 15: The Miracle of Compound Interest. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. Compound interest is the process by which your investment earnings generate their own earnings, creating a snowball effect that accelerates wealth building over time. Unlike simple interest, which only earns returns on your original principal, compound interest earns returns on both your principal and your accumulated interest. This distinction is subtle in concept but dramatic in outcome, especially over long time horizons. Consider two investors. Investor starts investing $300 per month at age 25 and stops at age 35, contributing for a total of 10 years and investing $36,000 of her own money. Investor B starts investing $300 per month at age 35 and continues until age 65, contributing for 30 years and investing $108,000 of his own money. Assuming a 9% average annual return, investor ends up with approximately $675,000 at age 65, while investor B ends up with approximately $550,000. Investor A, who invested one-third the money, ends up with more wealth because she gave compound interest an extra 10 years to work. This illustrates why starting early is the single most powerful wealth-building advantage. The Rule of 72 is a quick mental shortcut for understanding how quickly your money will double. Divide 72 by the annual rate of return to estimate how many years it will take for your investment to double in value. At 8% annual returns, your money doubles every 9 years. At 10%, it doubles every 7.2 years. At 6%, it doubles every 12 years. This means that a $10,000 investment earning 8% annually becomes $20,000 in 9 years, $40,000 in 18 years, $80,000 in 27 years, and $160,000 in 36 years, without adding a single additional dollar. The Rule of 72 demonstrates why time is the most valuable asset in investing. To harness the power of compound interest effectively, you need three things. Time: start as early as possible. Consistency: invest regularly regardless of market conditions. And patience: allow your investments to grow without withdrawing them. Even modest contributions, maintained consistently over decades, can produce extraordinary results. A person who invests just $100 per month starting at age 22 and earning 9% annually will have over $500,000 by age 62. Increase that to $200 per month and the result exceeds $1 million. The math is clear. Compound interest rewards those who start early and stay disciplined. Understanding the difference between arithmetic and exponential growth is essential for appreciating compound interest. Arithmetic growth adds a fixed amount each period, like putting $100 in a jar every month. After 10 years, you have $12,000. Exponential growth, which compound interest provides, multiplies your money at an increasing rate. The same $100 monthly investment at 9% annual returns grows to approximately $90,350 in 10 years, not $12,000, because your returns are generating their own returns. The gap between arithmetic and exponential growth widens dramatically over time. This is why someone who invests consistently for 40 years often ends up with vastly more wealth than someone who invests twice as much for 20 years. The exponential factor of time and compounding cannot be replicated by simply investing more money later. Compound interest also works against you when you carry high interest debt. A credit card balance of $5,000 at 20% APR, if only minimum payments are made, will take over 30 years to pay off and cost more than $8,000 in interest alone. The same compound growth that builds wealth when invested works in reverse when you owe money. This is why eliminating high-interest debt before investing is often recommended. The guaranteed return of eliminating a 20% interest rate debt exceeds the expected return of most investments. Think of debt payoff as a guaranteed investment. Every dollar of high-interest debt you eliminate provides a risk-free return equal to that interest rate. Push an example. The power of starting 5 years earlier. Twins Alex and Ben both graduated from college at 22 earning $55,000 annually. Alex started investing $200 per month immediately in a Roth IRA earning 8% average annual returns, then decided to wait until age 27 to start investing, at which point he also contributed $200 per month to an identical account. By age 65, Alex's account had grown to $891,000 while Ben's had grown to $564,000. Alex's head start of just 5 years, a total of only $12,000 in additional contributions, resulted in $327,000 more in retirement wealth. The difference was entirely attributable to compound interest working during those extra 5 years. Alex had not made a bigger sacrifice. He simply made the decision to start sooner. This example perfectly illustrates why financial advisors are passionate about encouraging young people to begin investing as early as possible. Key principle: compound interest favors the patient and the early. The most powerful force in wealth building is time combined with compound interest. Every year you delay investing costs you exponentially more than the year before. If you have not started investing yet, today is the day. If you have started, increase your contributions. Compound interest is unforgiving to those who wait and extraordinarily generous to those who begin early. Part 4 Advanced Wealth Building once you have mastered the fundamentals. Part 4 elevates your financial strategy to the next level. This section explores creating multiple income streams, generating passive income, starting and running a business, implementing smart tax strategies, and building a powerful financial network. These advanced strategies are what separate the financially comfortable from the truly wealthy. Chapter 16 Creating multiple income streams relying on a single source of income is one of the greatest financial risks most people take. In an economy where layoffs, industry disruptions, and economic downturns can eliminate jobs without warning, having multiple income streams provides both security and accelerated wealth building. A 2025 report by the IRS found that approximately 16 million Americans reported income from two or more sources, and this number is growing rapidly as the gig economy and remote work opportunities expand. The first step toward multiple income streams is optimizing your primary income. Many people leave money on the table by not negotiating their salary, not pursuing promotions, and not developing skills that command premium compensation. Before seeking additional income sources, ensure your primary income is maximized. Research shows that employees who negotiate their starting salary earn an average of $1 million more over their career than those who accept the first offer. Additionally, investing in high-value skills, data analysis, project management, public speaking, or technical certifications can increase your earning potential by 20% to 50% over time. The second income stream strategy is leveraging your existing skills for freelance or consulting work. If you are an accountant, offer tax preparation services. If you are a writer, take on freelance projects. If you are skilled in graphic design, web development, or marketing, platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and Top will connect freelancers with clients globally. The key is choosing freelance work that leverages skills you already possess, minimizing the learning curve and allowing you to start generating income quickly. Even 10 to 15 hours per month of freelance work can generate an additional $10,000 to $30,000 per year. Building additional income streams requires deliberate time management and boundary setting. The danger of pursuing too many opportunities simultaneously is burnout and mediocre results across all ventures. A more effective approach is to build one additional income stream to a sustainable level before adding another. Set specific weekly time blocks for your side income activities. Treat them with the same professionalism as your primary job, and track income and expenses carefully. Treat your side income as a real business from day one, even if it starts small. Pushpin example, Natalie's three-income stream system. Natalie, a 33-year-old marketing coordinator earning $62,000, built a three-income stream system over 2 years. First, she negotiated a raise and promotion at work, increasing her salary to $71,000. Second, she started a social media management side business, taking on 3 small business clients at $500 per month each, an additional $18,000 per year. Third, she created and sold a digital marketing template pack on Etsy, generating $400 per month in semi-passive income. Her combined annual income grew from $62,000 to $116,000 within 2 years. Natalie invested the additional income strategically, maxing out her Roth IRA, building a 6-month emergency fund, and beginning to save for a rental property down payment. She maintained reasonable work hours by batching her freelance work on Saturday mornings and automating her Etsy product delivery. Key principle. Diversify your income like you diversify your investments. Just as a diversified investment portfolio reduces financial risk, multiple income streams protect you from the impact of any single income source being disrupted. Start by maximizing your primary income, then add one strategic side income stream. Build it to sustainability, then consider adding another. Chapter 17 The Passive Income Playbook. Passive income is money earned with minimal ongoing effort after an initial investment of time, money, or both. While no income source is truly 100% passive, even rental properties require management and digital products require updates. Passive income strategies dramatically reduce the hours required to earn each dollar compared to traditional employment. Building reliable passive income streams is the key to achieving financial freedom, where your non-work income exceeds your living expenses. Dividend investing is one of the most accessible forms of passive income. Companies like Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, and Procter & Gamble have paid increasing dividends for over 50 consecutive years. By building a portfolio of dividend-paying stocks or dividend-focused ETFs, you create a growing stream of quarterly cash payments. A portfolio generating a 3% dividend yield on $200,000 produces $6,000 per year in passive income. Reinvesting dividends during the accumulation phase accelerates growth, and the income becomes increasingly significant as the portfolio grows over decades. Digital product creation offers unlimited passive income potential. Online courses, ebooks, templates, printables, stock photography, and software tools can all be created once and sold repeatedly. The key to successful digital products is solving a specific problem for a specific audience. A financial advisor who creates a comprehensive budgeting spreadsheet template and sells it for $15 on Gumroad is providing genuine value while earning income that flows in whether they are working, sleeping, or on vacation. The initial creation requires significant effort, but ongoing maintenance is minimal and sales can continue for years. Affiliate marketing allows you to earn commissions by recommending products or services you genuinely use and believe in. When someone purchases through your unique referral link, you earn a percentage of the sale. Successful affiliate marketers build audiences through blogs, YouTube channels, podcasts, or social media, providing valuable content that naturally incorporates product recommendations. The key is authenticity. Audiences can detect authentic recommendations immediately, and trust is the foundation of effective affiliate marketing. Focus on recommending products you would recommend regardless of whether you earned a commission. Push an example. The Johnson family passive income portfolio. Derek and Lisa Johnson built a diversified passive income portfolio over 5 years. They invested $80,000 in dividend growth stocks and ETFs, generating approximately $3,200 annually in dividends. Lisa created an online course about home organization that generated $18,000 in its first year and continues to earn $800 to $1,200 monthly with minimal updates. Derek purchased a vending machine route for $15,000 that generates $450 per month in net income after expenses. Their combined passive income totals approximately $25,000 per year, covering about 40% of their essential living expenses. This passive income foundation gave Derek the confidence to leave his corporate job and pursue his passion for teaching, knowing their essential expenses were substantially covered by non-employment income sources. Key principle: passive income requires active building. There is no shortcut to passive income. Every passive income stream requires significant upfront investment of time, money, or both. The key is choosing passive income strategies that align with your skills and interests, building them consistently, and reinvesting the early returns to accelerate growth. Chapter 18: Business Ownership and Entrepreneurship. Starting your own business is one of the most powerful wealth building strategies available, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. Entrepreneurship is not about getting rich quickly, it is about creating a valuable asset that generates income, builds equity, and provides freedom. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, small businesses generate approximately 44% of U.S. economic activity and create two-thirds of net new jobs. While the failure rate of new businesses is often cited as around 50% within 5 years, businesses that survive the first 3 years have a dramatically higher success rate going forward. The most successful modern businesses solve a specific problem for a specific audience. Before investing significant time and money into a business idea, validate it by confirming that real people will pay for your solution. Start with the minimum viable product approach. Create the simplest version of your product or service that solves the core problem. Offer it to a small group of potential customers. Gather feedback and iterate based on their responses. This approach minimizes risk and ensures you are building something people actually want before scaling your investment. One of the greatest advantages of business ownership is the tax benefits available to business owners that are not available to employees. Business expenses, home office, equipment, travel, education, health insurance premiums can be deducted from business income, reducing your overall tax burden. The qualified business income deduction allows eligible business owners to deduct up to 20% of qualified business income from their taxes. These tax advantages can save business owners thousands of dollars annually compared to earning the same amount as a W-2 employee. Scaling a business beyond self-employment requires building systems and teams. Many business owners create jobs for themselves rather than building a valuable asset. The transition from self-employed to true business owner happens when the business can operate effectively without your daily presence. This requires documenting processes, hiring capable people, implementing technology solutions, and developing a leadership team. Businesses that can operate independently are also more valuable when it comes time to sell, providing an exit strategy and wealth event that self-employment rarely offers. Pushman example, Amara's online bakery success. Amara, a former bakery employee with a passion for gluten-free baking, started an online bakery in 2023 with $3,000 in savings. She began by selling at local farmers markets on weekends, building a customer base of 200 regular buyers. When customers asked about shipping options, Amara invested in proper packaging and launched nationwide shipping for her signature gluten-free cookies and brownies. She used Instagram and TikTok to showcase her baking process, building a following of 45,000 followers. By her second year, Amara's online bakery was generating $180,000 in annual revenue with $52,000 in net profit. She hired 2 part-time assistants, invested in a commercial kitchen space, and launched a wholesale line to local coffee shops. Amara's business now generates more income than her previous corporate salary, with the added benefit of doing work she loves on her own schedule. Key principle: validate before you scale. Do not invest your life savings into an untested business idea. Start small, validate that real customers will pay for your product or service, and grow based on actual demand. The most successful entrepreneurs are those who test quickly, fail cheaply, and scale only what proves viable. Chapter 19: Smart Tax Strategies. Taxes represent the single largest expense for most working Americans, yet tax planning receives far less attention than it deserves. The average American household pays approximately 25% to 30% of their income in various taxes: federal income tax, state income tax, Social Security, Medicare, and sales taxes. Implementing smart tax strategies can legally reduce this burden by thousands of dollars annually, freeing up money that can be redirected toward wealth building. Tax avoidance legal is fundamentally different from tax optimization legal and smart, and everyone should be doing the latter. Maximizing tax-advantaged accounts is the foundation of any tax strategy. Contributing the maximum to 401k plans, IRA, health savings accounts, HSAS, and flexible spending accounts reduces your taxable income in the current year while building wealth for the future. A married couple under 50 maximizing their 401ks, Roth IRAs, and HSA could shelter over $57,000 from current year taxation in 2025. For someone in the 24% federal tax bracket, this represents approximately $13,700 in immediate tax savings, money that goes directly toward building wealth rather than funding government operations. Strategic timing of income and expenses can also reduce your tax burden. If you are self-employed, deferring income to the next tax year or accelerating deductible expenses into the current year can lower your current year tax bill. For employees, understanding how timing of bonuses, stock option exercises, and capital gains realizations affects your tax bracket is valuable. Charitable giving strategies, including donating appreciated assets directly to charity rather than selling them first, can eliminate capital gains taxes entirely while providing a charitable deduction. Working with a qualified tax professional is an investment, not an expense. A good tax advisor will identify deductions, credits, and strategies you would likely miss on your own. They stay current on the constantly changing tax code and can help you make proactive decisions throughout the year rather than scrambling at tax time. The cost of professional tax advice, typically $200 to $500 for individual returns, often pays for itself many times over an identified savings. Consider it one of the highest return investments you can make annually. Pushman example: the Chen family tax savings. Y and Lisa Chen, a dual income couple with combined earnings of $185,000. Have been using a basic tax preparation software and filing their own returns for years. When they finally consulted a tax professional, the advisor identified several missed opportunities. They were not maximizing Lisa's HSA contribution, saving $2,800 in taxes. Y was not contributing to his employer's 401k up to the match, missing $4,600 in free money and tax savings. They were not capturing the full child and dependent care credit, saving $1,200. And their charitable donations were not being optimally structured, saving an additional $800. The total first-year tax savings were approximately $9,400, far exceeding the $450 they paid for professional tax planning services. The Chens now meet with their tax advisor quarterly to implement ongoing strategies. Key principle. Tax planning is a year-round activity. Do not wait until April to think about taxes. Work with a tax professional to develop strategies throughout the year. The best time to implement tax-saving strategies is before the year ends, not after. Quarterly check-ins ensure you are taking advantage of every legal opportunity to reduce your tax burden and redirect that money toward wealth building. Chapter 20. Networking and financial mentorship. The people you surround yourself with profoundly influence your financial outcomes. Research from Harvard Business School demonstrates that your income tends to gravitate toward the average income of your 5 closest friends. This is not because your friends directly impact your paycheck, but because social groups shape your norms, ambitions, spending habits, and financial behaviors. If your social circle normalizes living paycheck to paycheck, you will likely unconsciously mirror that behavior regardless of your income level. Conversely, surrounding yourself with financially ambitious, responsible people elevates your own financial standards. Financial mentors provide guidance, accountability, and perspective that accelerates your financial journey. A mentor who has already achieved the financial goals you are working toward can help you avoid costly mistakes, identify opportunities you might miss, and maintain motivation during challenging periods. Finding a mentor does not require formal arrangement or asking someone to commit to regular meetings. Start by identifying people you admire financially, at work, in your community, or through professional organizations, and building genuine relationships with them. Ask specific, thoughtful questions about their financial strategies and decisions. Networking for financial growth is about building mutually beneficial relationships, not transactional connections. The most effective financial networking happens when you lead with value, offer your skills, knowledge, or connections to others before asking for anything in return. Attend financial education events, join investing clubs, participate in real estate investment groups, and engage in online communities focused on wealth building. The relationships formed in these environments often lead to investment partnerships, business opportunities, and career advancement that would be impossible to achieve in isolation. Accountability partnerships are a specific and powerful form of financial networking. Find one or two people who share your financial goals and meet regularly, weekly or biweekly, to review progress, discuss challenges, and celebrate wins. Research from the American Society of Training and Development found that having an accountability partner increases your probability of completing a goal by 65%, and meeting regularly with that partner increases the probability to 95%. Financial accountability partnerships work because they add social commitment to personal goals, making it harder to give up when things get challenging. Pushpin example. The investment club that changed everything. 5 colleagues, Marcus, Tanya, Robert, Lena, and Sam, started an investment club in 2022. Each member contributed $200 per month to a shared investment pool. They met monthly to research investment opportunities, discuss market trends, and vote on investment decisions. The club's collective knowledge was far greater than any individual member's expertise. In their first year, they invested in a diversified portfolio of index funds, individual dividend stocks, and one rate, earning a combined 14% return. Beyond the financial returns, the club members held each other accountable for maximizing their individual retirement contributions, reducing unnecessary spending, and pursuing career advancement. Within 3 years, every member had increased their individual net worth by at least 40%. Robert credited the club. Having 4 other people who genuinely cared about my financial success made all the difference. They celebrated my wins and challenged my excuses. Finding the right financial mentor requires intentionality and patience. Start by identifying people in your existing network who have achieved financial results you admire, perhaps a colleague who retired early, a family member who built substantial wealth on a modest income, or a friend who navigated a major financial challenge successfully. Approach them with specific, thoughtful questions rather than vague requests for advice. Instead of asking, "Can you teach me about money?" try asking, "I noticed you paid off your mortgage in 7 years. What strategy did you use?" Specific questions demonstrate that you have already done your homework and respect their time. Many financially successful people are surprisingly willing to share their knowledge when approached respectfully and with genuine curiosity. Key principle. Your network is your net worth. Intentionally build a financial support network that elevates your money standards. Join investing clubs, find financial mentors, create accountability partnerships, and curate your social media to expose you to financial education and inspiration. The right community makes wealth building feel normal rather than exceptional. Part 5, Protecting and Growing Building Wealth is only half the equation. Protecting and sustaining it is equally important. Part 5 addresses the often overlooked aspects of long-term financial success: insurance planning, estate planning, navigating economic uncertainty, committing to lifelong financial education, and building a lasting legacy. These chapters ensure that the wealth you build endures beyond market cycles and across generations. Chapter 21, Insurance. Your financial safety net. Insurance is the least glamorous but most essential component of a comprehensive financial plan. Its purpose is simple: to transfer the financial risk of catastrophic events from your personal finances to an insurance company. Without adequate insurance, a single health crisis, car accident, or natural disaster can destroy decades of wealth building in an instant. The goal of insurance is not to make you wealthy, it is to prevent financial catastrophe. Understanding which types of insurance are essential and how to optimize your coverage is a critical financial skill. Health insurance is non-negotiable in the United States, where medical bills are the leading cause of personal bankruptcy. Even with insurance, out-of-pocket costs can be significant, making it important to understand your plan's deductible, copay structure, and out-of-pocket maximum. Choosing the right plan involves balancing monthly premiums against potential out-of-pocket costs based on your health needs and risk tolerance. Health savings accounts (HSAs), available with high-deductible health plans, offer triple tax advantages: tax-deductible contributions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals for qualified medical expenses. Life insurance is essential for anyone who has dependents who would suffer financially upon their death. Term life insurance, which provides coverage for a specific period like 20 or 30 years, is the most cost-effective option for most people. A healthy 30-year-old can typically purchase a $500,000 20-year term policy for $25 to $35 per month. The general rule is to have coverage equal to 10 to 12 times your annual income. Permanent life insurance products like whole life and universal life are significantly more expensive and are generally not recommended for pure protection purposes. If you have dependents, life insurance is not optional, it is a moral obligation. Disability insurance protects your most valuable asset, your ability to earn income. A 30-year-old who earns $75,000 annually and works until 65 will earn approximately $2.7 million in lifetime income. A disability that prevents you from working for even a few years can result in enormous financial losses. Long-term disability insurance, which typically replaces 60% to 70% of your income if you become unable to work, is available through employers or individual policies. Review your coverage annually and ensure it reflects your current income level and financial obligations. Pushman example: the Kowalski family insurance wake-up call when Michael Kowalski, a healthy 42-year-old marketing director, suffered a stroke that left him unable to work for 7 months. His family's financial stability was tested. Michael had health insurance through his employer, which covered most of his $185,000 medical bills. His employer provided long-term disability insurance kicked in after 90 days, replacing 60% of his salary. However, the family had no short-term disability insurance, and they depleted $15,000 from their emergency fund during the 3-month gap before long-term benefits began. Michael's wife, Laura, reflected, "We thought we were well insured because we had health insurance and life insurance. We had no idea how vulnerable we were to a temporary disability. That 3-month gap nearly wiped us out." After Michael recovered, they immediately purchased short-term disability coverage to protect against future gaps. Auto insurance is required by law in most states, but the minimum coverage levels are often insufficient to protect your wealth in a serious accident. Liability-only coverage may leave you personally responsible for medical bills and property damage that exceed your policy limits. Consider purchasing umbrella insurance, a liability policy that provides additional coverage beyond your auto and home insurance limits. An umbrella policy with $1 million in coverage typically costs $200 to $400 per year and provides critical protection against lawsuits that could otherwise devastate your financial situation. Review your insurance coverage annually to ensure it reflects your current assets, income, and risk profile. As your wealth grows, your insurance coverage should grow with it. Key principle: protect before you invest. Before allocating money to investments, ensure you have adequate insurance coverage: health, life if you have dependents, disability, and auto. Insurance is not an expense, it is a wealth protection strategy. The cost of coverage is always less than the cost of a catastrophic uninsured event. Chapter 22, Estate planning for every age. Estate planning is not just for the wealthy. It is for anyone who wants to ensure their assets are distributed according to their wishes, their dependents are cared for, and their family avoids unnecessary legal complications and costs. Without an estate plan, state law determines who inherits your property, who raises your minor children, and how your debts are settled. The probate process without an estate plan can take months or years, cost thousands in legal fees, and create lasting family conflict. These outcomes are entirely preventable with basic estate planning documents. The four essential estate planning documents are a last will and testament, a durable power of attorney, a healthcare power of attorney, and a living will or advance directive. Your will specifies how your assets should be distributed and who should serve as guardian of your minor children. A durable power of attorney designates someone to manage your financial affairs if you become incapacitated. A healthcare power of attorney designates someone to make medical decisions on your behalf if you cannot. A living will specifies your wishes for end-of-life medical care. These four documents form the foundation of estate planning for virtually everyone. Beneficiary designations on retirement accounts, life insurance policies, and bank accounts override your will. This means that if your will says your assets should go to your children but your 401k beneficiary designation still names your ex-spouse, the ex-spouse will receive the 401k regardless of what your will states. Reviewing and updating beneficiary designations after major life events, marriage, divorce, birth of children, death of a beneficiary, is an essential but frequently overlooked task. Set a calendar reminder to review all beneficiary designations annually. Trusts are estate planning tools that become valuable as your assets grow more complex. A revocable living trust allows you to maintain control of your assets during your lifetime while ensuring they transfer seamlessly to your beneficiaries upon your death, bypassing the probate process entirely. Trusts also provide privacy, as wills become public records during probate while trusts remain private. For families with significant assets, minor children, or complex family dynamics, trusts offer flexibility and protection that simple wills cannot provide. Consult with an estate planning attorney to determine whether a trust is appropriate for your situation. Push an example. The importance of updating your estate plan when Jennifer's father passed away unexpectedly at 58. The family discovered that his estate plan had not been updated in 12 years. His will still named Jennifer's grandmother as his healthcare proxy. She was 84 and living in a memory care facility. His 401k beneficiary designation still listed Jennifer's mother, who had passed away 3 years earlier. Without a valid beneficiary designation, the 401k would go through probate, a process that took 40 months and cost over $8,000 in legal fees. The family also discovered that several assets were titled in ways that created unintended tax consequences. Jennifer later said, "Watching my family go through that process was painful. I immediately made an appointment with an estate planning attorney to ensure my own family would never face the same situation." Key principle: estate planning is not optional regardless of your age or wealth. You need basic estate planning documents. A will, power of attorney, healthcare directive, and updated beneficiary designations are essential for every adult. Review and update your estate plan after every major life event and at minimum every 5 years. The cost of planning is always less than the cost of failing to plan. Chapter 23, Navigating Inflation and Economic Shifts. Inflation is the silent wealth destroyer that erodes the purchasing power of your money over time. At a 3% annual inflation rate, $100 today will buy only $74 worth of goods in 10 years and only $31 worth in 35 years. Understanding how inflation impacts your finances and taking strategic steps to protect against it is essential for long-term wealth preservation. While you cannot control inflation, you can ensure your financial plan accounts for it and that your investments grow faster than prices rise. The primary defense against inflation is investing in assets that historically outpace inflation. The stock market has averaged approximately 10% annual returns over the past century, significantly exceeding the average 3% inflation rate. Real estate, particularly rental properties, tends to appreciate with or above inflation while providing growing rental income. Treasury inflation-protected securities tips are government bonds specifically designed to adjust with inflation. A diversified investment portfolio that includes stocks, real estate, and inflation-protected securities provides robust inflation defense across different economic environments. During periods of high inflation, specific strategies become particularly valuable. Purchasing power can be preserved by locking in fixed-rate debt like a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage that you repay with inflated dollars while your investment assets appreciate. Avoiding excessive cash holdings during high inflation periods prevents wealth erosion. Negotiating salary increases that at least match inflation protects your earning power. And reviewing and adjusting your budget to account for rising prices in essential categories ensures your financial plan remains realistic and sustainable. Economic recessions, while unsettling, are normal parts of the economic cycle and can actually create wealth building opportunities for prepared investors. During recessions, stock prices often decline significantly, allowing investors to purchase quality assets at discounted prices. Real estate markets may soften, creating buying opportunities for patient investors. Job losses, while devastating for those directly affected, can prompt career pivots and skill development that increase long term earning potential. The key to surviving and thriving through economic shifts is maintaining adequate emergency reserves, a diversified portfolio, and the emotional discipline to avoid panic driven financial decisions. Pushman example. Navigating the 2024-2025 inflation surge when inflation reached 7.8% in 2024. Many families felt their budgets collapse under rising food, energy, and housing costs. The Martinez family, both teachers earning a combined $130,000, responded strategically rather than reactively. First, they adjusted their budget to reflect actual current prices rather than hoping inflation would reverse quickly. Second, they renegotiated both auto insurance policies, saving $65 per month. Third, they reduced energy consumption by installing a smart thermostat and LED lighting throughout their home, saving $120 per month on utilities. Fourth, they increased their 401k contributions from 8% to 10% of salary, directing the increase toward index funds that historically outperform inflation. Despite prices rising around them, the Martinez family's inflation-adjusted net worth actually increased during this period because their investment returns exceeded inflation. Key principle. Inflation rewards investors and punishes savers. Cash loses value every year to inflation. Investments in stocks, real estate, and other growth assets historically outpace inflation significantly. The most important inflation protection is not hiding money under a mattress. It is investing consistently in assets that grow faster than prices rise. Ensure your financial plan accounts for inflation when setting savings targets and retirement projections. Chapter 24. Continuous Financial Education. Financial education is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong practice. The financial landscape is constantly evolving, tax laws change, new investment products emerge, technology creates new opportunities and risks, and economic conditions shift. The people who achieve lasting financial success are those who commit to continuous learning and adaptation. Research from the TIA Institute shows that individuals with higher financial literacy scores accumulate 25% to 40% more wealth over their lifetimes than those with lower scores. Building a financial education library is one of the most effective ways to deepen your knowledge. Start with foundational books that cover personal finance basics, investing fundamentals, and money psychology. As your knowledge grows, progress to more specialized topics like real estate investing, tax strategy, business ownership, and estate planning. Recommended starting points include The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins, and Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Read at least one financial book per quarter to maintain consistent growth in your financial knowledge. Podcasts and audio content offer convenient financial education that fits into busy schedules. Listen during your commute, while exercising, or while doing household chores. Financial podcasts like The Dave Ramsey Show, Bigger Pockets Money Show, The Investors Podcast, and Planet Money provide ongoing education in digestible formats. The key is selecting content that matches your current learning stage and interests. A beginner should not start with advanced options trading podcasts. Focus on foundational knowledge before moving to specialized topics. Practical application is where financial education transforms into financial results. After learning a new concept, implement it immediately. If you learn about the 50/30/20 budgeting framework, create your budget that week. If you learn about index fund investing, open an account and make your first investment. Knowledge without action is entertainment, not education. Track the results of each financial strategy you implement, adjust as needed, and build a personal playbook of approaches that work for your specific situation and goals. Pushman example. The power of continuous learning. Thomas, a 45-year-old IT manager, realized he had been earning a high income for nearly 2 decades, but had accumulated far less wealth than his income suggested he should have. He committed to 1 year of intensive financial education, reading 2 financial books per month, listening to a financial podcast daily during his commute, attending a local investing meetup monthly, and completing an online course on tax strategy for individuals. The knowledge Thomas gained over that year led to specific actions. He optimized his retirement account contributions, refinanced his mortgage, saving $280 per month, began investing in index funds through a taxable brokerage account, and restructured his charitable giving for maximum tax benefit. By the end of the year, Thomas had increased his net worth by $62,000, more progress in 1 year than he had made in the previous 5 years combined. Key principle: make financial education a daily habit. Dedicate at least 15 minutes per day to financial education, reading a chapter, listening to a podcast, or analyzing an investment. Small daily investments in knowledge compound over time, just like financial investments. The cost of financial ignorance is far greater than the cost of financial education. Chapter 25: Building a Legacy of Wealth. Building a legacy of wealth means creating financial resources that benefit not only you but also your family, community, and future generations. It shifts the focus from short-term accumulation to long-term impact. Legacy building requires thinking beyond your own lifetime and making decisions today that will benefit people and causes you care about for decades to come. The most meaningful wealth is that which outlives you and creates positive change in the world. Teaching financial literacy to your children is one of the most powerful legacy building actions you can take. Studies show that children who receive financial education at home are significantly more likely to be financially responsible adults. Start age-appropriate conversations about money as early as possible, giving young children a piggy bank for savings, involving older children in grocery budget decisions, and teaching teenagers about investing and credit before they leave home. The goal is to break cycles of financial illiteracy that have plagued families for generations, and to equip the next generation with the knowledge and habits necessary for financial success. Philanthropy and charitable giving are integral components of legacy building. Whether you give 1% or 50% of your income to causes you care about, regular charitable giving connects your wealth to purpose and meaning. Strategic charitable giving also offers tax benefits. Donating appreciated assets avoids capital gains taxes while providing a charitable deduction. Donor-advised funds allow you to make a charitable contribution for an immediate tax benefit while distributing the funds to charities over time. Charitable giving teaches your children that wealth carries responsibility and that financial success is enhanced when shared. Creating a family financial plan that spans generations ensures that your wealth is preserved and managed wisely after you are gone. This includes having clear conversations with your children about money values, expectations, and responsibilities. Families that discuss money openly and honestly tend to preserve wealth across generations, while families that avoid money conversations often see inheritance squandered within 2 to 3 generations. Consider establishing family meetings to discuss financial goals, sharing your estate plan with your heirs, and creating a family mission statement that guides financial decisions for generations to come. Push an example: the Thompson Family Legacy Project. When Robert Thompson, a retired school principal, turned 65, he sat down with his 3 adult children and shared his lifetime of financial knowledge. He revealed that despite never earning more than $85,000 in any single year, he had accumulated a net worth of $1.2 million through consistent saving, wise investing, and decades of disciplined living below his means. He walked them through every decision: the early Roth IRA contributions, the rental property he purchased at 35, the emergency fund that prevented debt during job transitions, and the simple budgeting system he used for 40 years. Robert also shared his estate plan, explained the family trust he had established, and encouraged each child to ask questions. His daughter Angela later said, "Dad's financial transparency was the greatest gift he ever gave us. He showed us that wealth is built through patience and discipline, not luck or inheritance." All 3 of us are now financially successful, and we credit those conversations as the foundation. Key principle: wealth is a responsibility, not just a reward. True financial success is measured not only by the size of your bank account, but by the impact your wealth creates. Teach financial literacy to the next generation. Give generously to causes you believe in, and make financial decisions today that will benefit your family and community for generations to come. Conclusion: Your financial freedom blueprint. You have now journeyed through the complete landscape of financial mastery, from understanding the psychology that drives your money behavior, to building the practical foundation of budgeting, saving, and debt elimination, to growing your wealth through investing in multiple income streams, to protecting and sustaining that wealth across generations. The knowledge contained in these chapters represents the collective wisdom of thousands of financially successful individuals and the proven principles that have guided wealth creation throughout modern history. But knowledge without action is merely potential energy. The difference between those who achieve financial freedom and those who merely dream about it is consistent, imperfect action over time. You do not need to implement everything in this book simultaneously. Start with the chapter that resonates most strongly with your current situation. If you are drowning in debt, focus on part 2. If you have never invested, start with part 3. If your money psychology needs work, return to part 1. The order matters less than the commitment to begin. Consider creating a personal financial mission statement that captures your core values and financial goals in a concise format. Your mission statement serves as a decision-making framework when you face financial choices. Does this purchase align with my mission? Does this investment opportunity support my stated goals? A clear financial mission statement provides direction and prevents the drift that occurs when financial decisions are made impulsively rather than intentionally. Write your mission statement, review it monthly, and let it guide your financial journey with purpose and clarity. As you move forward on your financial journey, remember that every wealthy person started exactly where you are now, with a decision to change. The strategies in this book are proven, the principles are timeless, and the tools are available to you today. Your income level, age, background, or past financial mistakes do not disqualify you from building substantial wealth. What matters is the decision you make right now and the consistent action you take from this moment forward. Financial mastery is not about perfection, it is about progress. Start imperfectly, learn continuously, adjust as needed, and never stop moving toward the financial life you envision for yourself and your family. Remember that financial freedom is not a destination, it is a continuous process of learning, growing, adapting, and refining. Your financial plan will evolve as your circumstances change. The principles in this book will guide you through every stage: your first job, your first investment, your first major purchase, raising a family, navigating career changes, approaching retirement, and building a legacy. Financial freedom means having the resources to make life decisions without being stressed about money, to choose work you love, live where you want, and give generously to causes you believe in. Your journey to financial freedom begins with a single step. Take that step today. Open a savings account, start a budget, read your first financial book, automate a retirement contribution, or simply write down your financial goals for the first time. Whatever action you take, take it now. Your future self will thank you for the decision you make in this moment. Key principle: the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. Financial freedom is not reserved for the lucky, the privileged, or the exceptionally talented. It is available to anyone willing to learn, plan, and act consistently over time. You now have the knowledge. The only remaining ingredient is action. Start today. Appendix: Resources and Tools. Recommended books for financial education. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel explores the behavioral aspects of financial decision-making with compelling stories and timeless lessons. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, a practical, automated approach to personal finance for millennials and young professionals. The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins, a clear, straightforward guide to index fund investing and achieving financial independence. Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki challenges conventional wisdom about money and introduces the concept of building assets rather than accumulating liabilities. The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley and William Danko, research-based look at the habits and characteristics of America's quietly wealthy. Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin reframes the relationship between money, time, energy, and life satisfaction. The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, a step-by-step plan for getting out of debt and building a strong financial foundation. A Random Walk Down Wall Street by Burton Malkiel, comprehensive guide to investing strategies and market theory for individual investors. The Bogglehead's Guide to Investing by Taylor Larmore, community source wisdom on simple, low-cost investing strategies. Set for Life by Scott Trench, actionable strategies for young professionals to achieve financial independence through real estate and investing. Recommended websites and online resources: Investopedia, investopedia.com, comprehensive financial education and dictionary of financial terms. Boggleheads.org, community forum focused on simple, low-cost investing strategies. Nerdwallet.com, reviews and comparisons of financial products and tools. Annualcreditreport.com, free annual credit reports from all three major bureaus. IRS.gov, official tax information, forums, and resources. SBA.gov, Small Business Administration resources for entrepreneurs. Khan Academy, khanacademy.org, free financial and economic education courses. Portfolio Visualizer, portfoliovisualizer.com, investment backtesting and analysis tools. Financial Plan Checklist, created a monthly budget using the 50/30/20 or zero-based method, built an emergency fund covering 3-6 months of essential expenses, eliminated all high-interest consumer debt, credit cards, personal loans, contributing enough to employer retirement plan to capture full match, open and funding a Roth IRA or traditional IRA, maintaining adequate health, life, and disability insurance, creating basic estate planning documents, will, power of attorney, advanced directive, established automatic savings and investment contributions, reviewing and updating beneficiary designations, annually committing to continuous financial education through books, podcasts, or courses, key financial terms glossary, asset allocation, the distribution of investments across different asset classes such as stocks, bonds, and real estate, designed to balance risk and reward based on goals and risk tolerance. Bull market, a period of rising stock prices, typically defined as a 20% or greater increase from recent lows. Bull markets can last months or years. Bear market, a period of declining stock prices, defined as a 20% or greater drop from recent highs. Bear markets are normal parts of the economic cycle. Compound interest, interest earned on both the initial principal and previously accumulated interest, creating exponential growth over time. Dollar cost averaging, investing a fixed amount at regular intervals regardless of market conditions, which reduces the impact of volatility on your overall investment cost. Emergency fund, a liquid savings reserve covering 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses, designed to protect against unexpected financial crises. Index fund, a mutual fund or ETF designed to replicate the performance of a specific market index, such as the S&P 500, providing broad diversification at low cost. Net worth, total assets minus total liabilities, representing your overall financial position at a specific point in time. Passive income, income earned with minimal ongoing effort, derived from investments, rental properties, digital products, or other assets that generate returns without requiring active daily work. Roth IRA, an individual retirement account funded with after-tax dollars, where investments grow tax-free and qualified withdrawals in retirement are tax-free. Tax-advantaged account, a financial account offering tax benefits such as tax-deferred growth, tax-deductible contributions, or tax-free withdrawals, including 401(k)s, IRA, and HSAs. Zero-based budgeting, a budgeting method where every dollar of income is assigned a specific purpose before the month begins, ensuring no unplanned spending. Final note, this book is a living resource. As financial laws, products, and strategies evolve, so too should your financial plan. Return to these chapters periodically as your situation changes and your goals evolve. The principles of financial mastery, living below your means, investing consistently, protecting against risk, and continuously learning, remain constant regardless of what the economic landscape looks like at any given moment. Thank you for investing your time in reading this book. The knowledge you now possess is the foundation for a transformed financial future. Take what you have learned, take action today, and begin building the life of financial freedom that you deserve. Table of Contents Part 1, Understanding Money Psychology Chapter 1, The Stories We Tell Ourselves About Money Chapter 2, Scarcity vs. Abundance Mindset Chapter 3, The Emotional Anatomy of Spending Chapter 4, Healing Financial Trauma Chapter 5, Rewiring Your Money Blueprint Part 2, Building the Foundation Chapter 6, The Art and Science of Budgeting Chapter 7, Your Emergency Fund, Financial Armor Chapter 8, Debt Destruction Strategies Chapter 9, The Power of Strategic Saving Chapter 10, Credit Scores and Financial Reputation Part 3, Growing Your Wealth Chapter 11, Investing Fundamentals for Everyone Chapter 12, Navigating the Stock Market Chapter 13, Real Estate as a Wealth Builder Chapter 14, Retirement Accounts and Tax Advantage Growth Chapter 15, The Miracle of Compound Interest Part 4, Advanced Wealth Building Chapter 16, Creating Multiple Income Streams, Chapter 17. The Passive Income Playbook, Chapter 18. Business Ownership and Entrepreneurship, Chapter 19. Smart Tax Strategies, Chapter 20. Networking and Financial Mentorship, Part 5. Protecting and Growing, Chapter 21. Insurance, Your Financial Safety Net, Chapter 22. Estate Planning for Every Age, Chapter 23. Navigating Inflation and Economic Shifts, Chapter 24. Continuous Financial Education, Chapter 25. Building a Legacy of Wealth, Conclusion, Your Financial Freedom Blueprint Appendix. Resources and tools